Happy Monday, everyone! This week is the holiday Thanksgiving, and we are going to read quite a few stories about different characters that celebrate Thanksgiving. The story for today is about Duck and Hippo. They're really good friends. They do lots of things together. And in this book, they're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. The title is Duck and Hippo Give Thanks. It was almost Thanksgiving, and the leaves were still tumbling. Have you noticed that about the trees outside? Some still have a few leaves on them, but many trees have already lost all their leaves. Scritch, scritch, scritch! Hippo was raking the leaves into a huge pile and dreaming of a good old-fashioned Thanksgiving. A white blur flew through the air, whee, ploof, and plopped right into the middle of Hippo's pile. What was it? A head popped up. It was Duck. Duck, Duck, cried Hippo. What are you doing? I'm jumping into a pile of leaves, said Duck. It's fun. Why don't you try it? I'm trying to make the pile all nice and tidy, Hippo said with a huff. Uh-oh, look at Hippo's face. He looks kind of annoyed that his friend Duck is having such a good time. Hippo's trying to make a pile of leaves, but Duck just wants to jump in them. That's not very helpful. Just then, an apple fell on Hippo's head. Hippo rubbed his head, polished the apple, and handed it to Duck. For you, he said. Thanks, Hippo, Duck said. Speaking of giving thanks, said Hippo, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Let's celebrate together. Yes, said Duck, I'll help. And let's invite all our friends. To get ready for the feast, Duck and Hippo went shopping. Duck said, I want to ride in the basket. She grabbed food as they zoomed down the aisles. Whee! Faster! Squealed Duck. Then Duck jumped out and Hippo squeezed in. But the shopping cart wouldn't budge. When Hippo tried to squeeze out, I'm stuck, cried Hippo. No problem, boomed Elephant. He lifted Hippo out. Thank you, Elephant, said Duck and Hippo. And Duck invited him for Thanksgiving. Delighted, boomed Elephant. Oh, I guess that means he's going to come to the dinner. Hippo wanted some crusty bread for their good old-fashioned Thanksgiving. So Duck and Hippo got in line at the bakery. Turtle was ahead of them. You go first, said Turtle, and take your time, take your time. Thank you, Turtle, said Duck and Hippo. And Duck invited him for Thanksgiving. Terrific, said Turtle. By now, Duck and Hippo were hungry. They went to Pig's Pizza, and they each ate a slice of Pig's special pizza of the day. Thank you, Pig, said Duck and Hippo. And Duck invited her for Thanksgiving. Yummy, cried Pig. I can't wait. Back at Hippo's house, Hippo said, oh, there's so much to do for our good old-fashioned Thanksgiving. So Duck went out and gathered leaves. She just couldn't help jumping in. Whee! Hippo went out and gathered pumpkins. Quack-a-doodle-doo, cried Duck, sitting on a pumpkin. I laid an egg. Then Duck gathered acorn squashes. Let me help you, Duck, said Hippo. Lastly, Duck and Hippo gathered apples and headed back inside. But they bumped into each other at the door. Whoops! Hippo bowed and said, "After you, dear Duck." Then, together, they decorated the table with leaves and squashes and perfect little pumpkins. When they were done, Duck did a dance on the tabletop and sang, "Ta-da! See you tomorrow," she said, jumping off. That night, Hippo went to sleep and dreamed of a good, old-fashioned Thanksgiving. Before Duck went to bed, she told their friends, "Let's make something special for Hippo." The next day, Hippo was busy. He baked a good old-fashioned apple pie, and a good old-fashioned pumpkin pie, and a good old-fashioned acorn squash, and his house filled with good old-fashioned smell. He couldn't wait for his good old-fashioned Thanksgiving to begin. But it was getting late. Hippo looked out the window. The full harvest moon was rising over the trees. Night had come, but where, oh where, were Hippo's friends? Well, they didn't get to the house yet, but I do see them in this picture. Can you see Hippo's friends? "Here we are," cried Duck, and they all piled into Hippo's house. "Sorry we're late, but we were all finishing up a special surprise for you." "I wonder what it could be," thought Hippo. Hippo's friends each had something to offer. Turtle brought Chinese egg rolls. Elephant brought sea cucumber sushi. Pig brought pizza Napolitana. And Duck brought peanut butter and jelly tacos. Well, that's a lot of interesting different foods, isn't it? Especially for Thanksgiving. This is not a good old-fashioned Thanksgiving feast, thought Hippo. He already baked all those pies. Maybe he was hoping they'd have some turkey or some potatoes or stuffing. But everybody brought something different. But then he looked at the smiling faces of all his dear friends. He spread his arms wide and said, "Welcome, and thank you for being who you are." "Hooray!" everyone shouted. Oh, well, Hippo was thankful that all of his friends brought something to eat anyway. It didn't matter what it was. He was just happy they were all there together. Then they all gathered around the table and held hands. Duck and Hippo gave thanks for their friends, for being together, and for sharing nature's bounty. "Let's eat!" cried Pig. And it was a big, happy Thanksgiving feast. The best Thanksgiving ever. When they were done, Duck said, "And now, let's go outside and jump in the leaves." Whee! And that is the end. What a wonderful story about Thanksgiving and spending wonderful time with your friends. See, it turned out Hippo didn't really care what kind of food they ate for Thanksgiving as long as they were together. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving too with people you love.